What's going on, football fans? I am Bill Murphy, and welcome to another exciting edition of Thursday Night Gridiron here on the Sports Insanity Network. I have a great panel here tonight. Joining me is Ross, the Caddy Mason,
who's not working on a Thursday night and can actually do a pregame before Thursday Night Football, a game that actually people actually want to watch tonight, unlike Denver last Thursday, which I think 20 people watched.
And also joining us, one of our two fearless leaders, the vice president of the Sports Insanity Network, Danny Boy Reginald.
Hey, folks, how's it going?
Gentlemen, how we doing tonight?
We're doing good. We're in week 8 of the NFL. The Bucks have the prime time spot tonight.
Yeah, you know what? Tonight's game, it is the Baltimore Ravens and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It's sort of like, once you think about it, it's for quarterbacks, it's sort of the fight of the generations tonight.
Well, Lamar Jackson in the old guard or new guard, Tom Brady in the retired and came back guard.
Yeah, and trust me, we'll be talking about Tom Brady a lot tonight, won't we?
Yeah.
The immortal one is actually mortal. Okay, but before we get on to that, we got to do some. Okay, first we're going to start with the Baltimore Ravens. Last week, the Ravens, they beat the Cleveland Browns by a score of 23-20.
That's and I was actually watching most of that game, and Cleveland looked like they were going to pull out a win, and then Baltimore surged ahead.
Yeah. Lamar Jackson, 9 for 16, 120 yards, 7.5 average, no touchdowns, no INTs, and was sacked 3 times, and a 47.0 QBR, 80.2 rating. While the rest of the offense, we had Lamar had 10 carries and 59 rushing yards. Gus Edwards, 16 carries, 68 yards, 4.1 average, and 2 touchdowns.
Not terrible numbers.
Yeah. So, what do you think of Baltimore's performance last week? We're going to start with Danny Boy Reginald.
I mean, again, the Ravens, they're an up and down team. Okay. They couldn't close it out against the Giants. They could barely close it out against the Browns. And now they're coming into a short week, and they're very lucky because they're running into a Tampa Bay team that's in disarray. The quarterback isn't playing well. The coach stinks. And, of course, it's tough to say that about Todd Bowles because I actually thought Todd Bowles was actually a very good coach. Didn't work out with the Jets, but, that's not an issue necessarily with Todd Bowles. The Jets had so many other issues. It was crazy during that time. But I thought this was a right situation for Todd Bowles to finally, beef up his coaching resume and show that he can actually coach in the NFL. And that's been a disaster, too. So right now, the Ravens are running into a team that's in disarray. So this should be one of those get right games, not necessarily to win, because again, they won last week. But
because if they
to sort of pound the freak out of this team, Tom Brady and stuff. Ross, so go ahead.
No, I was just saying because let me see the next Ravens game because I forgot who they're playing next after the next weekend or after tonight. Sorry, I thought I had this ready.
That's okay.
You have the Saints on the 7th of November. I mean, that should be an interesting game. You beat Tom Brady. The Saints are, like you said, the Ravens. They're up and down this year without losing your star quarterback, Drew Brees, for what? The quarterback for the last 20 years, something like that.
Exactly. But
Well, he was also ready to retire regardless. Tom Brady thought he was, and well, other factors factored into him unretiring and playing one more year.
Hey, okay. As much as we love to bash Tom Brady,
We can do it ad nauseum.
let's hold off on that for a little bit because I do want to focus on Baltimore right now.
Yeah, that's fine. Baltimore, like I said, I agree with Dan. They're an up and down team. They played good last week, one night, and play great. They played like dog shit against the Giants. They should have easily. That is the Giants game. They should have easily beaten the Giants that night or that day. There's no excuse for losing the Giants.
So, okay. Lamar Jackson. He has 1,397 passing yards, 13 passing touchdowns, and 6 interceptions. And for this season so far, 66 rushing attempts, 510 rushing yards, and 2 rushing touchdowns. There's talk about his contract. At the end of the year, there's been talk about his contract.
Oh, that nonsense where you start the season and you don't have a new contract in place with your star quarterback who's been in the league for what, 4 or 5 years now? He's no longer the rookie of the year he was when he first started in this league. He's shown his age, and I think he's getting in his head.
All right. So we're going to start with Ross since we started with Reggie last time. Ross, how much, if you were to give Lamar a contract, what would you give him? What would you pay?
I'd give him 4 more 2 years and 110, maybe 80 to 90 million. You can kind of compare this to what's going on with Aaron Judge with his contract, kind of similar, letting the money somewhat affect your decision whether to stay with your team or sign with a new team. I really think it can be compared with Aaron Judge and Lamar Jackson with their money contracts, whether they want to play for the team they started with or go somewhere else. Whether Lamar Jackson goes to the Colts or some other team, who knows? Whether he goes to a competitor.
Yeah.
I think he's going to stay with the Ravens. He's going to get 3 years, $70-80 million. That's my theory.
Reggie, my friend, if you were to give Lamar a new contract, what would you do?
Keep it short and sweet. There's a lot of flaws to Lamar's game, but if you're the Ravens, he's one of the best things you've had in a long time.
And God knows how long.
So, like Ross, around the same time, a little smaller on the average annual year in the contract, but around the same price, yes. But short amount of years. I would say more like 3 years.
Yeah, 3 to 4 years. You're not going to give him 7 years.
Yeah, no, that's too much.
And that contract comes to bite you in the ass.
Yeah.
Look how much.
You have to be Patrick Mahomes, sure.
That he's going to be your.
Yeah, he's going to be your star. No, he's already the quarterback. It's about making sure he's the future. Like you have to have, if you're the Ravens, right now, you need to have that flexibility where if you give Lamar money, you're going to ride it out with him. Fine, but it's a short leash so that if stuff goes wrong, you can get rid of him.
Look what we did with Mark Sanchez. Look how many years we gave him, and look what he did. You won playoff win in 2010, and he shits the bed the next 4 years.
Yeah, I personally would give.
I know you don't like Mark Sanchez coming up, but it's part of our bad.
It was 2 years after that.
Yeah, it was part of our bad history.
I wouldn't agree with. I would agree with all you folks.
That's not fair to him.
I would give Lamar Jackson. I wouldn't give him more than 4 years, and I wouldn't give him any more than 70 million.
Yeah.
When he got signed at his rookie or this year or the year before, did he have an opt-out clause?
Reggie,
is that possible for his contract?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not.
I don't know if it's possible for that contract. I don't know.
I'm not sure.
I don't know. I don't know if he gets any power with that.
Okay, no, I wasn't sure. I don't know. I'm not really following up on. All I know is he did not have a new contract coming into week 1. That's all I know.
Yeah, and that's it.
You know what? I want to make things a little interesting here because we like making things interesting.
Yeah, we really do.
On the Insanity Network, don't we, Reg? We like making things interesting.
Sure.
Okay. You brought up. Okay, just everyone bear with me here. I know we're a football show, but Ross brought up Aaron Judge. Okay, you don't have to specify who, but with me and my cousin were talking about this on this show a couple weeks ago. Shout out to my cousin Brian, you're awesome. Aaron Judge and Lamar Jackson. Do you think both of them stay? Both of them walk? One stays, one walks? You don't have to say who, just say, do you think one of them's going to stay? Both of them are going to stay? Both of them are going to walk? Or one's going to stay, one's going to walk?
Well,
I think one's going to walk and one's going to stay.
Well, they're both definitely going to test the market.
Yeah.
It's within their rights. They have to. They have right to do it.
They both declined offers from the front offices, bet on themselves. Obviously, historic season for one guy with a baseball bat. He bet on himself, and he's going to get a big payday come November 5th.
Okay, I think I'm not going to specify who.
That's fine, Bill.
But I am going to say one's going to stay, one's going to walk. I'm not going to say who. I'm just going to say one's going to stay, one's going to walk.
I love you, Bill.
So anyway, moving on, because we do have a few other things we got to get to tonight.
Yeah, before this game actually starts.
Okay, so where do the Ravens stack in the AFC? Reggie.
They're gonna. Honestly, they're losing the North because Cincinnati's cooking.
Yeah.
So they're going to be at least one of the wild cards for sure.
Yeah, no. You have New Orleans coming up, and New Orleans is playing a good game so far.
Right. But New Orleans isn't a big matchup. It's the AFC that they have to worry about.
Yeah, you have to worry about Cincinnati.
Yeah, exactly. You have to worry about all of a sudden, Now, of course, they ran into the Jets at a good time. Opening day.
The perfect time before you.
So the thing is, isn't what's his face out for the Bengals? Isn't Jamar Chase out? What is out for this week? I want to make sure he's actually out. I don't want to make something up like I normally make stuff up.
Don't make stuff up, Ross.
He's not expected.
I make stuff up all the time.
He 4 to 6 weeks with a hip. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's gonna hurt the Bengals. Because Joe Burrow's not playing that great either.
It's a devastating blow for sure, but they'll work it out. They'll figure it out for sure. They're as good as they're saying.
Yeah, Burrow's as good as you can expect this season.
So it might actually be a good break for Baltimore, but no, they're in the thick of things. I think they're on their way to at least trying to get to the playoffs for sure. Like they're going to be in that race.
I think they're going to get the wild card spot.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those spots. One of the spots that they're probably going to be. Probably Jets are going to be there too. So those are teams you have to watch.
Oh, I'm like excited for the possibility of going back to the playoffs.
It's something we can dream about for now. For sure.
Yeah, really depends how we play against the Bills next in November.
So you would say it's one of those teams to keep an eye on.
Yeah, because the Bengals are definitely off track again. They're gonna fill that hole with losing Jamar Chase. They have to fill that hole.
Yeah. So Baltimore could possibly win the North to see what happens without Jamar Chase with Cincinnati.
Yeah, without Chase on the Bengals, without that basically holding down that running game.
Yeah, you got to hold down that running game. So yeah, I think we have a strong team here. I will admit I like Lamar Jackson. He's strong most of the times, but he can be shaky though.
Yeah.
He can be a little shaky. Reg, agree or disagree?
No, he's good. I mean, the best part about his game is that he could escape pocket and run. And the Ravens, blocking for the run, it's actually been fairly good offensively. It's that throwing power that questions me a lot. Not that Lamar can't throw, but accuracy kind of stinks, and protection kind of stinks on that too. So, yeah, He's fairly good, very, very strong, but a lot of flaws to his game.
So, yeah, before we get on to Tampa and the bane of our existence, well, more your guys' existence than mine.
Mhm.
Should the Baltimore Ravens enter the OBJ sweepstakes?
No,
I'm gonna say yes.
If they want to, I mean,
they're more than welcome to
Give
do.
Lamar Jackson more weapons.
the question should be: is Odell interested in going to Baltimore? It's not something that he's talked about. No, he's
Because
talked
the
about.
Rams are pretty much in semi disarray.
I don't even know. He's not on a team right now. He's a free
No,
agent.
he's not on the team.
He's not on a team.
I would love for him to come back to New York.
Yeah.
You think he's gonna fit in with Brian Dabble? With
What
the
was
new,
that?
you think he's gonna fit in with the new culture that Dabble has brought?
I think he could.
I don't know.
Listen, I know everybody goes after, the last time he was just his character issues the last time. What? We're not going to give someone, listen, he's grown up since then.
Yeah, but does he want to come back to New York?
Well, because, John Mara last year when they were talking about this said character issues. What, we're not
Okay,
gonna
the
give
Jets
him-
had the same problem with Jamal Adams, and they booted him.
But no, what? I think OBJ has grown up. And what I think he should be given a chance, whether it be with the Giants or with the Ravens or with another team. Reg, am I crazy?
You're not crazy. It's whether he wants to stay in LA or come back home, come back east.
But the question isn't LA. He's not in LA.
He's a
No,
free
he's
agent.
nowhere.
Mark. He's a
Right,
free
he's a free agent.
agent.
Whether he
Nowhere.
wants to
He's on no
re-sign-
team.
Whether he
He's
wants to
nowhere.
re-sign with the team that gave him a break for the Super Bowl or come back to sign with a new team, I think he's going to go back to the Rams.
Okay, Reg,
It's a little-
let
it's a-
Reg answer.
I don't think he goes back to LA. Not that he doesn't like LA. But I don't know if the Rams want to sign him back. They haven't. If they wanted to sign him back, they would have done it already.
Right.
So that's that. But also, Mr. Von Miller over in Buffalo has been doing a lot of recruiting for
I know.
Odell Beckham. So there's a chance he might go there, and very strong possibility. Now, I wouldn't count out the Giants. Not that the Giants need him; they're doing just fine without any big offensive weapon. They already have a great one in Saquon Barkley.
But how they, traded Kadarius Tooney today, who
Yeah.
I didn't want, and Reg was there when I was having a heart attack on draft night about it.
Yeah, and
And the video's here on our channel if you want to watch.
Yeah.
exactly.
He's
So-
a free agent. Whoever picked him up.
But totally from a veteran's perspective, it's a good idea to bring him back.
No, I think it would be a great idea because,
And in a full circle moment, you come back to the team that drafted you, that ultimately traded you, and under a new regime and stuff, the culture is different. Something that he would probably appreciate.
And listen, if John Mara said last year about him that he had character issues, and you know what? I think he's grown up. He's more mature now. He's matured as a person. Let's give him another shot. Let's give Odell Beckham another shot. Whether it's going back to the Giants, but Ravens, you said they don't really need him.
No, they don't need him.
Reg,
Do I think the Ravens?
yeah.
If they want to, I mean, I don't know. Is there anything about the Ravens wanting Odell Beckham? I mean, is that something that they're looking into? If it is, then go for it. I would say go for it. It's not. There's nothing. You can't lose anything. But they don't. I don't think they need him for it to work out. And it also has to work out for the offense that they run, for the type of offense they run. Is that going to be something that Lamar is comfortable with? That's the other things you have to figure out too.
Yeah.
And I think Lamar would love Odell Beckham for sure. That's just what I
I
believe.
think that would be a sick combo, right?
Yeah, it sounds like
Lamar and Odell Beckham.
That's what I
That's
believe. I think it would help big time, but you never know.
But okay. now that we've said our piece about Baltimore, oh, it's time for our favorite thing to do. Guess what that is?
Shit on Tom Brady
It's time for a good old-fashioned Brady bash!
and his hot wife, ex-wife.
Well, they're not divorced yet. Okay, last week, the Tampa Bay Bucks lost to the Carolina Panthers.
Without Christian McCaffrey, mind you.
Yes, and I said this on the podcast on when we recorded the podcast on Monday. I even said that even before the game was played, because the point spread was what? Carolina was up, 13?
Yeah, something like that.
If I were to go with point spreads, and this is not gambling advice, it's just what I would personally do. If you have gambling issues, go get help. But if I were to go with point spreads, I would have went with Carolina with the points last week. And I know everyone thinks I'm insane for saying that before
Bill,
the game.
you're insane regardless. You hang out with us.
Not according to the New York State Board of Psychiatrists.
I know.
But anyway, yeah, I would have gone with Carolina with the points, in all honesty, even before the game, because I'm thinking how Brady's been playing, how this team's been playing. They weren't going to win by 13 or more.
And don't they have a worse schedule coming up after Tampa Bay? Doesn't their schedule get harder?
We'll get to that in a second. Okay, so Tampa Bay lost 21-3 against the Carolina.
Sad Tom Brady. Michael Jordan, sad Brady face.
21-3, and Tom Brady's stats, there weren't any.
I think
there were.
really.
There were.
Oh, there were stats?
Out of 49 attempts, 200.
Wait, Bill, they were negative, right?
Can I read them, please?
No, you're not allowed to.
Well, I'm going to read them anyway.
Tom Brady. I need a beer to deal with you.
Completed 32 passes out of 49 attempts, 290 yards, 5.9 average, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 1 sack, and 55.8 QBR.
And there's some people in my other league who drafted him.
So gentlemen, there were like the rest of the offense, like it exists, am I right?
What, with what? Rob Gronkowski and that's it?
Leonard Fournette, 8 carries, 19 yards, 2.4 average. Chris Godwin,
I can't look at you with a straight face.
1 carry, 2 yards, 2.0 average, no touchdowns, and had 4. At least he had 64 receiving yards. So we will give him that. Good job, Chris Godwin.
Bill, I have them both on my fantasy.
Hold on, I read the long one. Scrap that. Sorry. 7 receptions, 43 receiving yards. Good job, Chris Godwin. We'll give you a nice sticker.
Bill, I have him on my fantasy team. Don't remind me.
And Mike Evans, 9 receptions, 98 yards, 10.7 average. So, do we even have to say anything about this offense?
No.
Do we seriously have to say anything about them? Like,
it's dog shit.
When you Carolina team that's terrible, and let's call it what it is, they're waving the white flag. They waved it way early in the season. No Baker, you trade McCaffrey away, and your offense only comes up with 3 points against their defense. Come on.
And you want to know
it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing.
And you know what?
Firing the coach, coaching changes, you ship all of your wide receivers and your running backs. You know, there's nothing right going on in Carolina. But then you have Tampa Bay, who only scores 3 points against them.
No,
and the issue is it's a locker room issue. It's a big locker room issue.
Do you think?
I'm sorry, Ross. Go ahead, and I'll go. Go
ahead.
No,
back to Carolina. Do you think the front office keeps Ron Rivera or they get rid of him again?
Ron Rivera's in Washington.
Sorry, I don't know why I'm thinking.
They already fired Matt Rule.
Okay.
Okay.
I forgot Matt Rule.
Okay. Let me say this. Like, here's the problems with the offense, because if you look at compared to last year, they're down 14 points per game from last season. Like, what is wrong with this offense? I have a few thoughts here that I've been reading into. They're not running the ball enough.
No. Look what they did against.
66% of the time is passing. And last week they threw 77% of the time against the Panthers.
It's just it's mind-boggling how bad this defense is, and it ain't gonna get better.
The offensive line sucks. And we can't bash the offense without bashing the immortal one.
The thing is,
Brady is not consistent with his targets.
No.
He's not consistent. He's trying to carry this team too much because he is just an arrogant. And you know what? And I'll open this up in a minute or so, because you know what? We talked about this last week on the podcast of who's struggling more: Brady with Tampa Bay. Sorry, ding, or Rodgers with Green Bay. And we originally all said Rodgers with Green Bay, but maybe things can change since the Packers got Jerry Jeudy today from Denver.
Yeah, which is going to help.
So maybe that could help. But, here's the thing with Brady. Even though I think Rodgers is struggling more, Brady is under 500 for the first time in 20 years as a starter. And you know what? Yeah, you're still in first place, but you're tied with the freaking Atlanta Falcons. You're tied with the Atlanta Falcons.
Oh, God. The days of Matt Ryan are gone.
You're tied with the Atlanta Falcons for first for being under 500. The old days of Tom are gone.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, but Reg, what do you think is wrong with this offense?
Everything. Tom Brady came back to this team thinking that he could win. And they do not have they have the weapons, but it's not meshing. And Tom Brady, let's be real, is getting older and the age is starting to show. And once that starts to show, everything else just falls down with it. So nothing's meshing together with the team. The receiving core is not doing its job. Running backs ain't doing his job either. And at the end of the day, what you have is a product that's boring and uninspiring to watch. And then on top of that, and I'm probably being nice when I say that, on top of that, you have a coaching staff that just isn't adjusting to its issues to make sure that you can have the right play calling system that is needed to help this team win. And it's not working out. Whatever's going on in Tampa Bay right now, it's just not working. Nothing right now just isn't clicking. And part of it's the quarterback, part of it's coaching, part of it's the players. The locker room, and they may not be saying it, they may be keeping it private, and that's their right. I don't think the locker rooms are going well. I don't think it's in a good space. I don't think Tom Brady's in a good space. He has all this drama going off the field, and to say let's be real, it's affecting his play. You can't tell me that it isn't. So there's a lot of issues going on, and honestly, I don't feel bad.
Because you know what brings down this offense and brings down this team. You know who the problem is? It's Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Tom Brady's not just his performance on the field. He's just an arrogant piece of what. He's just the whole thing. And you know what? And I think I may have mentioned this on the podcast, but remember 2 weeks ago when he skipped practice to go to Bob Kraft's wedding.
Exactly.
Let me ask you a question, Tom. I think I may have asked you this on the podcast too. Let me ask you a question, Tom. You basically came out of retirement, basically lost your wife because, listen, he's most likely going to get divorced. Like, Giselle is probably getting the divorce attorneys ready right now. And she's going to take his ass to the cleaners. Can we all agree on that? She's going to take his ass to the cleaners. Braid, you're going to lose your wife. You're going to lose your kids because you wanted to come back. Was that worth it? But yet you screwed over the team that you basically lost your family for. You screwed over your team to go to Bob Kraft's wedding. Guys, that is the definition of arrogance. That is the definition of narcissism. Like, Tom, it's not all about you. And you know what? Your team is suffering now.
But the team revolves around him. Understand that.
It should have never.
But
team should not have to revolve
he's the
around.
quarterback.
I know.
He is.
He's the quarterback. He's the captain of the offense. It has to go around him. Okay? Yeah. So, once again, they're going to put him in there. He's going to stink.
He's good.
Like, I'm sorry. Everything right now is just not working for Tampa Bay. It's not working. And Tom Brady really needs to evaluate. Is he in a good headspace to be playing? If he isn't, then he needs to step aside and allow the team to play without him so that he could focus on his stuff while the team goes out there and win. Because he's messing it up. And then on top, like I said, the coaching staff isn't doing enough either to help out the situation to make sure he gets his head in the game. So that's not working out either. So it's a big mess. And look, again, I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad because they put them on themselves. Yeah. It's a whole team thing.
Because I would say I feel slightly bad for him, but that's gone now.
No. Don't feel bad, please. He's a grown man with millions of dollars and 7 rings.
But yeah, so here's a question: are they still Super Bowl contenders? Let's all be honest here.
Oh
no, they don't look like it. I mean, look again. This could all change. It could all change, but it starts with the quarterback.
Like maybe tonight we'll see
and the coaching.
We'll see old Tom Brady again, maybe.
Yeah, well, yeah, that and Todd Bowles has to wake up because already, like, people are already talking about, and they may not be being fair to him. Maybe he's probably going to a leash, and he's gonna probably going to keep his job after the season. But they're rightfully so. Todd Bowles already talked about probably being fired. It's not like a big news story, but there's already some opinions out there, and I agree.
Todd is scared. Todd is scared for his job.
So they need to adjust. Tom Brady needs to get his head in the game, act together. It's hard to do, but you're playing football. You committed to this team. So act like you want to be here.
Again, you basically gave up your wife and kids to be here. So if you think this was a script, then you shouldn't have came back. Sorry, you shouldn't have came back. But, I want to ask you guys this. Since you guys are both Jet fans and had to play Brady twice a year, aren't you guys getting a little bit of satisfaction that he's...
Oh, just a little bit.
Aren't you guys getting a little bit of satisfaction?
It would have been nicer if he was with the Patriots.
Yeah. Not in the wrong...
Honestly, I don't... I'm worried about the Jets winning. The Jets face the Patriots this weekend.
We don't wish bad on people.
That's
here,
all.
But aren't you getting a little bit of satisfaction?
I am getting a lot of satisfaction from that New England loss on Monday night.
Oh, same here.
Was very, very, very satisfying.
The fact that your boy will be in the stands on Sunday in afternoon football, Jets Pats, baby.
Okay, let's hope they win.
Yeah, me too. Because when they went to Pittsburgh, they won. So good luck.
Okay, so you know what time it is for?
I'm listening.
it is time for rapid fire.
Okay.
Okay, so I've got a couple questions for you folks within. I extended the time to 2.5 minutes tonight because I can.
Fine.
Okay, so are you ready? Four
Yep.
questions, and here we go. With the trade deadline being Tuesday, give one team that should buy and what position they should go after. We'll start with Ross.
New England buy another running back.
Okay, Reggie.
The Giants could use an O lineman.
Okay, I'm gonna say the Titans could use another wide receiver.
Yes.
Okay, which of these two teams is more likely to make a deep playoff run?
What two teams?
The teams that are playing tonight.
Oh, sorry.
Baltimore.
Everybody.
I'll say the Ravens.
Okay.
Go the Ravens.
Let's make that three of a kind. Let's go. I'm going with the Ravens. What is the most overrated division in the NFL right now?
AFC North.
Okay, Reg.
I'm gonna go with the NFC West.
I'm gonna go with the AFC West.
All right, interesting.
Okay. What is now flip side? What is the most underrated NFL division? Reg?
The AFC East.
AFC East.
Oh, guess what? Let's call it three of a kind.
Woo!
Now that 2 is back in the mix, I think that division is going to be competitive.
Yeah.
Woo! And I don't think people are starting to like what the Jets are doing. I don't know if people actually understand the type of team that the Jets are right now.
Yeah, no one. It's just
like I honestly think, and we're gonna lose to Buffalo, but
I already know that it's gonna be ugly. It's gonna be a tight game. It's gonna be ugly.
But New York State fans, beware. The Buffalo Bills are gonna have a lot of issues with that Jet defense.
Yeah,
they're gonna have a lot of issues. Now, of course, the Buffalo offense could always torture them and stuff. I could be dead wrong. But if they're giving
Singletary and Diggs problems.
Well, I'm just saying, if they're giving Aaron Rodgers problems, chances are they can give Josh Allen a lot of issues.
I know.
So New York State fans, beware. The Jets are here. All right, AFC East for sure. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'll throw one last question here. Since Monday's Halloween, what was your favorite Halloween costume growing up?
Robot.
I didn't like
or vampire.
Reg?
I didn't like dressing up that much.
Okay, no, my mom forced me to.
I'm gonna say Darth Vader.
Okay. My favorite when I was young,
A mental patient.
When I was a kid, my mom will tell you this. Like for years, I always dressed up as Batman for Halloween.
I'm Batman. Give me your candy.
I'm Batman.
I'm
Okay.
Batman.
And now, predictions for tonight. We'll start with Reg.
I'm gonna say the Ravens will win this game for sure. As far as what the score will be, let's call it 28-10.
Okay. Ross.
Tampa Bay 26, Ravens 18.
Oh.
So Tampa Bay's gonna win.
Tampa Bay's gonna win. That's my money.
Okay.
We are holding you to that, Ross.
Obviously.
Yeah.
We are holding you to that. And if you're wrong, we're going to be texting you. We're going to be texting you and reminding you that you were wrong.
It's fine.
But if he's right, he has every right to come back at us too.
Nope, I agree. I'm going to say.
So it's fair game.
Yeah, really, Bill.
I agree.
Bill, you opened your mouth.
What?
Nothing, Bill. Just leave
I'm
it. Okay.
going to ignore that.
Please do.
Okay, my prediction. I'm going to say Baltimore 27, Tampa Bay 14.
So you can give them 2 touchdowns. Okay, that's nice.
Okay, well, that is our show for tonight, folks. I hope you enjoyed. If you want to see more of this content, and why wouldn't you? Because this content is great.
Yeah, it really is.
Go to www.thesportsinsanitynetwork.com. Check out our bios. Check out our podcast, all the blogs there. If you like what you see, like, comment, subscribe on YouTube. And what is our social media plug, my good man?
So our social media at Sincerity Real on Facebook and Twitter.
Yeah. And I'm Bill Murphy. I'd like to thank Ross the Caddy Mason and Danny Boy Reginald for joining me here tonight. Enjoy the game.